Good evening and welcome to Viking Field here at Mazama High School. I mean, there are only so many cliches you can really use to describe this matchup. Heavyweight bout, clash of the titans, all of them apply here. It's number 1 Henley against number 2 Mazama with the league championship and potentially the number 1 seed in the playoffs on the line. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. It's going to be a great night of football. We've got a great pregame show for you right on the other side of this break. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
During the Les Schwab Founders Celebration Sale, save up to $150 instantly on select sets of 4 tires. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been away forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place home. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, the retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Welcome back. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. As you see you see on the video stream the Mazama Senior Night currently taking place. Let's take a look at how both of these teams fared last week. For Mazama, it was a romp in the Canal Bowl, 54-7 over Klamath Union last Thursday. Vikings took the lead in that series for the first time ever, which is surprising considering how dominant they've been for the past decade, really. But Klamath Union won the first 6, and then had a stretch where they won, if I recall correctly, 8 of 9 early in the series. So Pelicans built up a pretty good lead there. For Henley, it was a similar story on their senior night. They won 63-18 over Marshfield. And that was not a score that people expected from that game, unlike the Canal Bowl, because Marshfield was number 9 in the state.
Yeah, people have high expectations for Henley, and they come out and they seem to surpass them every week. You're right. I think we thought that'd be a little closer game. Henley, once again, executed very well on all aspects of the game and had an easy win.
Logan Whitlock with 5 touchdowns. I mean, it was over almost as soon as it started. I mean, Henley went up 35-0, 13 seconds into the second quarter. And Mazama in the Canal Bowl, I think they, if I can consult my notes here, they got up 40-0 with 8:36 remaining in the first half. So both teams were able to get their starters quite a bit of rest last week, and they will need it tonight because this is a game that promises to go the full distance.
Yeah, that's what makes this game so intriguing, is that these teams have had similar outcomes against similar opponents. Frankly, they've blown out a lot of teams. So we're seeing 2 even teams here tonight, and all the hype that we've been generating this week, it's all going to happen here in just a little bit.
We're going to take another break. On the other side, we will hear from Henley head coach Alex Stork. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
During COVID, I gained over 24 pounds. I lost motivation in working out. I lost motivation in eating healthy. And for me, if I'm not active, I just don't eat well. But then I started taking a class at Harbor's gym called High Low. The first week I felt like I didn't fit in and I couldn't do it. But the instructor was so kind and thanked me for coming and told me how well I did. I was like, no, I wasn't, but it made me come back the next week and the next week. And soon enough, I was keeping up with the class. I started introducing more classes and then going Saturdays. I learned how to lift weights accurately with repetition. I started lifting on my own. I started golfing too with my husband. And all of a sudden, I was buying salads instead of sandwiches. Small victories happened week by week, and it's 100% because of Harbor, their staff, their gym, the golf. My husband is getting out of the house and working out with me. His golf game is increasing, we're lifting together, and we feel good. Harbor, where I lost my reins and got my gains.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
At Clown Subaru, we built our business on that simple promise. Well, that and some of the best people you're ever going to meet. Hi, I'm Rob Cedar, General Manager at Clown Falls Subaru. Our 62 employees make it easy for us to live up to our comfortable, not corporate philosophy. Friendly faces, easy answers, straight talk, fairness, and exceptional service. These are the things you expect. These are the things that all of our people deliver. Our management team, sales pros, certified service and body shop techs, lot attendants, and detail experts are all 100% focused on you. Local people putting their friends and neighbors first. At Clown Falls Subaru, that's the only way we do business. It's comfortable, not corporate. Our team members also spend hundreds of hours each year supporting local charities and events through the Subaru Love Promise. That's the kind of people they are. We're very proud of them. They're your friends, they're your neighbors, they're glad to know you, and they want you to be glad to know them too. I'm Rob, and this is what makes us comfortable, not corporate.
Sports was kind of defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
Welcome back. We were able to catch up with Henley head coach Alex Stork. Let's hear what he had to say before this game.
Thanks to Les Schwab tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths, and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So it's right here.
During the Les Schwab Founders Celebration Sale, save up to $150 instantly on select sets of 4 tires. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Wait, all I do is wait. So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Good. I gained over 24 pounds. I lost motivation in working out. I lost motivation in eating healthy. And for me, if I'm not active, I just don't eat well. But then I started taking a class at Harbor's gym called High Low. The first week I felt like I didn't fit in and I couldn't do it, but the instructor was so kind and thanked me for coming and told me how well I did. I was like, no, I wasn't, but it made me come back the next week and the next week. And soon enough, I was keeping up with the class. I started introducing more classes and then going Saturdays. I learned how to lift weights accurately with repetition. I started lifting on my own. I started golfing too with my husband. And all of a sudden, I was buying salads instead of sandwiches. Small victories happened week by week, and it's 100% because of Harbor, their staff, their gym, the golf. My husband is getting out of the house and working out with me. His golf game is increasing, we're lifting together, and we feel good. Harbor, where I lost my reins and got my gains.
At Cloudwell Subaru, we built our business on that simple promise. Well, that and some of the best people you're ever going to meet. Hi, I'm Rob Cedar, General Manager at Cloudwell Subaru. Our 62 employees make it easy for us to live up to our comfortable, not corporate philosophy. Friendly faces, easy answers, straight talk, fairness, and exceptional service. These are the things you expect. These are the things that all of our people deliver. Our management team, sales pros, certified service and body shop techs, lot attendants, and detail experts are all 100% focused on you. Local people putting their friends and neighbors first. At Clown Falls Subaru, that's the only way we do business. It's comfortable, not corporate. Our team members also spend hundreds of hours each year supporting local charities and events through the Subaru Love Promise. That's the kind of people they are. We're very proud of them. They're your friends, they're your neighbors, they're glad to know you, and they want you to be glad to know them too. I'm Rob, and this is what makes us comfortable, not corporate.
Welcome back. You heard Henley head coach Alex Stork there before we had to cut to commercial for the national anthem. He's talking about, the key to tonight's game is really who can play the most complete game, who can play 4 full quarters of football. And one of the things I've talked about with him, revisiting last year's game where Henley, it was a very similar situation. Teams were essentially playing for the league title. That game was at Henley. Hornets had the lead, but Mazama came back and won 44-36 late in the fourth quarter. Coach Stork said the team just didn't quite play a full 4 quarters.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of points scored last year, and I think the Henley defense is a little bit improved this year. So maybe we'll be able to see their dominance that they've had through the season to this point. Maybe they'll be able to do that for 4 quarters, and we haven't seen them for 4 quarters in a lot of games this year because they've been so far ahead. So yeah, they need to put together a complete game, and I'm sure the first thing on his mind is takeaways. Henley's been very good taking the ball away, and then they limit those turnovers tonight for sure.
We will see the Henley defense first as the Hornets kick off. Jaime Pisano sends it deep And Mazama's going to watch that one go for a touchback. Jaime Pisano has really been booting that thing the past couple weeks.
The coaches like that. I talked to them before the game a little bit, and they all agreed you don't want to take the chance of a run back at any time. Mazama has run some kicks back this year, so if you can kick the ball through the end zone, that's a great way to start.
So Mazama will start on their own 20. Led by senior quarterback Tyson Van Gastel. Mazama coach Vic Lease called him the best quarterback he's ever had in this system. It's a tough system for a quarterback to run. It's more or less a cousin of the triple option. As Van Gastel comes under center, and he'll hand it off. The first carry doesn't get very far. Can't even tell who had that one, and that's one of the features of this offense. A lot of misdirection.
Yeah, these two teams are familiar with each other. That's one thing we know for sure. Henley knows what they run. Mazama knows what the Hornets run. So there were 9 white jerseys on that tackle, so that didn't really fool anybody. Still picked up about 4, though, so bring up second down for Mazama.
It's a 4-yard gain up to the 25. So bring up 2nd and 6 for Mazama on their opening drive here in the first quarter. Vikings ranked number 2 in the OSAA computer poll. Henley number 1. Van Gastel, the pitch. And that's going to be a pickup of about 2 or 3. Looks like.
That was a nice job by Luke Bennett getting to the outside. Henley did a good job of stringing that play out for the short gain. They'll have a third down coming up.
Van Gastel going to the sideline to get the call in. Now he gives it to his huddle as the Vikings have a 3rd and 3 from their own 27. Henley sides trying to make some noise. And it looks like Mazama might have jumped offside there. Or false start, rather.
That's a good break for the Hornets. That'll make this a 3rd and long. And Mazama can throw the football, but I think they'd rather not. They like to establish the run. And with a 3rd and long here, we may see them throw the ball. We'll see.
Mazama had a few miscues on the line last week against Klamath Union. Didn't end up mattering too much, but if it continues, will likely be a much different story here this week. 3rd and 8 for the Vikings from their own 22. Van Gastel under center. Turn, handoff, and wrapped up immediately after a short gain. That looks like... that might have been Bodie Norlock. Yep, Bodie Norlock, one of 14 seniors on this Mazama team. They've only got 31 players listed on the varsity roster.
That was a nice tackle by Caleb Swanson-Utley, forcing a 4th down and a punt.
The punt from the 15 is low, and it bounces toward Luke Bennett, who shakes a man and brings it up. He's still going past the 40. Bennett across midfield. Bennett down to the 40, where he's finally brought down along his own sideline, and this will be a great spot for Henley to start their first drive.
Great run by Luke Bennett. Good field position for Henley to start, and we've talked about this. Most teams might just let that ball bounce through, but Luke plays it on one hop, dodged a couple of tacklers, and made a nice run back. Good starting point here for the Henley offense.
Luke Bennett, with a Division III offer from Linfield, has certainly shown some of that next level awareness throughout the season. You saw it there. So Henley comes out, trips right, Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. They give it to Whitlock. He plunges right into the line, and he'll pick up just 1.
And these teams are definitely trying to establish the run. That's what they like to do. So we'll kind of see both teams feel each other out here. The defense for Henley did a really nice job getting off the field with that 3 and out their first time out there. 2nd
and 9, Henley on the Mazama 37. Looks like the same formation, more or less. 9:50 to go in the first quarter. Whitlock up the middle again, and again, barely anything.
Yeah, there's nothing there. And this is going to be a good challenge for the Henley line on both sides of the football. Mazama's got a very good line as well. And it's a 3rd and long now for Henley with their first possession.
Same formation. 3rd and 9 from the Mazama 37. Henley's going to get the call in from the sideline now. Janney, quick throw, open along the sideline, making a man miss and almost getting to the first down marker. On the far side, was that Chris Janney?
Looks like it was, and it was almost a first down. Good play call there. I like that. Throwing on 3rd and long. They're just short, and they're going to go for it.
4th and 1 from the Mazama 29. Trips right, one to the left. Whitlock on the left hip of Janney. Back in the shotgun. They get the signal in from the sideline. 8:34 remaining in the first quarter. Opening drive for Henley. Forced to 3 and out on Mazama's first drive. Whitlock gets it. Whitlock, does he have it? Mazama says no. I'm not sure. Looked like he might have gotten there. But either way, Mazama will take over.
Yeah,
They'll spot it at the 30.
He was just short. Tyson Van Gastel with a good defensive play. We know Whitlock's hard to bring down. He was driving those feet, but Van Gastel had just enough strength and leverage to make the play.
Yeah, Van Gastel, not only the Vikings starting quarterback, also starts at defensive back. Again, 31 players on this Vikings roster. You see a lot of them going both ways. So now Mazama will start from their own 29, they'll call it. 8:20 to go in the first quarter. Still scoreless as Van Gastel hands it off, and the run gets nothing.
That was good penetration from the line. That's going to go for, well, no gain, almost a loss.
Christopher Baldwin, the ball carrier there from Mazama.
Well done by Henley, doing a good job so far, containing this run. We're early in the game, but they've done the job so far.
Vikings trying to keep their 9-year league championship streak going. They have to win tonight to do it. They haven't lost to Henley since 2017. 2nd and 10, Mazama from their own 29. 7.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Handoff. Gets a pretty good gain. Went up to about the 36.
Yeah, there was a little room there that time. That was a nice gain. Again, just going up the middle. Kern in there for the tackle for Henley. And we have another 3rd down.
Baldwin again on the carry for Mazama.
Teams taking their time. We're not seeing any sort of pace whatsoever as far as quick snaps. Both teams taking their time.
3rd and 3 for Mazama from their own 36. Handoff. And it looks like they've got just enough for the first down.
Sarah and Tyler in there for the tackle, but it was just enough for the first. That's the first down of the ball game, and Mazama picks it up. And they'll get a new set of downs at their own 40.
They're really not in a hurry at all. Taking their time, getting the call in, even kind of walking up to the line. Handoff up the middle. It'll be a gain of about 3 for Bodie Norlock.
Looks like Tyler at the bottom of the pile again. Also Cohen Redmond. Making a tackle for the Hornets.
5:45 to go in the first quarter. Mazama with a 2nd and 8 from their own 42 here in this scoreless ball game.
Yeah, they're trying to shorten the ball game, and this quarter's half over. Just taking their time, running the football.
Van Gastel under center, hands it off. And a fumble! Henley might have it! Henley does have it. Somebody ripped the ball out.
That was Logan Whitlock. First one to the ball, just ripped that ball out of there. Luke Bennett fell on it. And Henley gets the first takeaway. Good play. That's exactly what you want from your defense. The running back was kind of stood up, and that's when you come in there. That second guy can come in there and maybe knock that ball loose, and that's exactly what Logan did. And Henley has the first break.
That's a big one. Possessions are going to be at a premium this game, especially with a clock-chewing offense like Mazama's. So Henley takes over on the Vikings 44. They come out trips left, one to the right. Whitlock standing behind Joe Janney. Whitlock gets the carry. Whitlock has a bit of a hole and surges forward for a gain of 3.
Now we'll start to see these teams adjust a little bit. They'll pick up some ideas. They'll look back at the first series and see what may or may not work. That was a little better hole there that time for Logan.
2nd and 7 for Henley on the Mazama 41. 4:48 to go in the first quarter. Still 0-0 between the top two teams in 4A. Whitlock in motion. It's a bit of a sweep, and Whitlock picks up another few yards.
That was a little different look. We haven't seen that play a lot this year. Whitlock starts on the right and then kind of curls around and takes the ball to the other side. And it'll be 3rd down, about 4.
Henley on the Mazama 38. Trips right, one to the left. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. Janney back to pass. Quick throw, and he's got the first down just inside the 30 before, looks like Chris Janney again forced out of bounds. So that'll move the chains for Henley.
That was a good route. I like that. Just a simple flag, 5 and out. Janney put the ball right on the money, and that was good enough for a first down. Henley's thrown the football effectively here early. Only had a couple of attempts, but they've done the job.
Trips right, one to the left. Whitlock on the left hip of Janney. Whitlock. No, keeper for Janney. Left side, Janney spinning. And that's going to be close to the first down at the 20-yard line.
He is right near the sticks. Joe Janney's played exceptionally well this year. And one thing I was looking for going into this game, Mazama's got a senior, well-tested, big-game quarterback. This is the first one of these for Joe. So it's a big night for him. He's doing very well thus far.
Well, if you've seen Henley, you've seen he just gets better and better every week.
Sure.
Every week.
Right.
2nd and 1. Whitlock on the left hip of Janney, trips right, one receiver to the left. Whitlock gets the handoff, and Whitlock has the first down to the 15.
The Henley offensive line showing a little more push here. Moving the ball a little bit better, mixing the plays up. Doing a nice job on this drive. And they're in the red zone.
3:16 to go in the first quarter. Henley with a 1st and 10 on the Mazama 15. Can the Hornets strike first here? Trips right, one to the left. Whitlock behind Janney. Whitlock gets the handoff, tries to go right, and he gets leveled. Oh, my. That was Seth McClain just popping Logan Whitlock. I don't know that we've seen him get hit like that this season.
Yeah, Logan usually runs pretty low. That time he was kind of standing up as he was going around the end.
It's a loss of 2 for Henley. It knocks them back to the 17, 2nd and 12. 2:35 to go in the first quarter. Janney going with the hard count, trying to make Mazama jump. Henley lined up, trips right, one to the left. Whitlock on the left hip of Janney. Janney back to throw. Janney has to scramble, nearly trips. Janney still going. Janney's got the first down. Janney's got the touchdown. Well, what were we just saying, Kevin?
Yep. You know, he's going to be a factor tonight. Everybody's looking for Logan Whitlock. That time, Janney did a good job. It was a pass play, but nobody was open. He did a nice job, kind of pump fake twice, kind of fooled that linebacker, and then he found a seam on that left side and all the way to the end zone for the touchdown.
We know he's a good runner. We've seen that from early in the season. He came up with a big run and a big moment for the Hornets. 6-0 Henley, PAT pending here with 2:07 remaining in the first quarter. The kick is up and good. So it's 7-0 Henley. Hornets strike first here at Mazama. 2:07 remaining in the first quarter. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. We'll be right back. You're watching Henley football on mybasin.com and listening on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Welcome back. Henley up 7-0 on Mazama here late in the first quarter after a 17-yard touchdown run from Joe Janney as Jaime Pisano sends the kickoff through the end zone for another touchback. Kevin, Janney was originally supposed to pass. He couldn't find anybody open. He felt a little bit of pressure. He almost tripped as he was scrambling out of the pocket.
He did. He was really moving. We know he's very quick. And what I like about that is, you do that pump fake, and nobody knows what's behind them defensively, so they don't know. And so that buys him just a step or two, and you can get around the outside. Just a nice touchdown. Good opening drive. I guess that was their second possession for the Hornets.
So now Mazama in a position they haven't been in much this season, trailing. First down handoff, and a flag comes in. It's in the backfield.
Not much of a gain there, but we'll sort out the penalty.
It's an illegal shift against Mazama.
And they try and decide if they're going to take this.
Looks like they will. So that'll put Mazama back to the 15. So 1st and 15 now for the Vikings from their own 15. And what do we have here? Officials.
Going to call timeout, it looks like.
All right, Vic Lease wants a timeout to talk things over with his team. We'll take it with him. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Welcome back. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. 2:01 to go in the first quarter. Henley leads 7-0 over Mazama in this battle of the top two ranked teams in the 4A classification. Mazama needs to win tonight to keep their 9-year league championship streak alive. Now on 1st and 15, they're going to run it to the outside, and that gets nowhere. It was Seth McLean on the carry.
Chris Gianni coming up from his defensive back position. Make a nice tackle. And we have 2nd and long.
2nd and 13. Mazama from their own 17.
And the defense doing a good job keeping everything in front. One thing you don't want to do, give up the big play. And they've done a fine job so far of that.
Van Gastel under center. He'll keep it himself after faking the handoff, and he won't get very far, only up to about the 20.
I couldn't tell that time. If that might have been kind of a broken play. I think he meant to hand that off. He ended up keeping it. And he's a very good runner in his own right, so you have to be careful for him when he has the football. But it is 3rd down, and it's like a full 10.
Inside a minute to go in the first quarter, 50 seconds left to be exact. This will probably be the final play of the quarter. 3rd and 10, Mazama on their own 20. Henley sideline making some noise. They've got what look like some terrible towels over there, waving them around. Bright yellow. Van Gastel. Keeper. Van Gastel upended short of the first down at the 27.
I see Jason Kernan there on the tackle, among others. And Mazama's faced with a 4th down here.
Looks like they're going to send out the punt team. Don't think they'll get it off before the end of the quarter, though, as we've got 3 seconds left. And that will do it for the first quarter. Henley 7, Mazama nothing. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. We'll be right back. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
During the Les Schwab Founders Celebration Sale, save up to $150 instantly on select sets of 4 tires. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Welcome back as we start the second quarter here at Viking Field. Henley with a 7-0 lead over Mazama. Vikings facing a 4th and 3 from their own 27. And they're lining up as if they're going to go for it.
We'll see what they do. They may shift back into punt. We'll see if they are in fact going to go.
They do. And they got it. Very close.
Man.
Very close, but the Vikings are able to move the chains. They spot the ball at the 32.
Kyle Nichols came out of nowhere and just put an end to that run. It's a good tackle. Got a pretty good spot there. I thought it was a little closer, but it's a 1st down. So a little bit of risk there on a 4th down deep in their own territory. Mazama comes through. Yeah.
Big risk.
That was a good conversion for them.
So now they go again. It's a direct snap to Van Gastel. And he fights his way forward to the 39. Henley trying to rip the ball out to no avail.
Yeah, that time they went a little quicker and surprised the Hornets, and they weren't quite ready for that when they picked up 6 or 7.
So 2nd and 3, Mazama on their own 39.
We'll see what Mazama's strategy is here, if they're going to mix things up a little bit or just stick with that run. It's a 7-0 game. Still a lot of football to go.
And Gastel under center. Flag comes in. And it's from the back judge. It's against Mazama. Illegal shift, was it again?
I missed the hand signal there. Didn't see it.
Oh, that backs up Mazama to the 34. Makes it 2nd and 8 for the Vikings. And even 5-yard penalties can be costly. Fumble! Fumble on the hand on the snap. And Henley's got it! The second fumble recovery of the game for the Hornets, and once again, sets them up pretty well into Mazama territory.
It looked like Chris Janney came up with the football. I don't know where he came from. That was just a mishandled snap. Henley really didn't shake the ball loose, but that ball was free. Chris ended up with it. And another takeaway for the Hornets.
This Henley defense has created turnovers at a ridiculous clip this season.
Yeah, they played so well, and they give that offense a short field, and that's really been their key to success.
So Henley on the Mazama 33, or 34, excuse me. Or actually, yes, 33, sorry. Looking to go up 14-0. Whitlock comes in motion. Janney, empty backfield, lets it fly over the middle. It's caught, and it will be down at the 1.
He's having a game already, Chris Janney. Almost found his way into the end zone. That was a great catch. He was flying across the middle, had to catch that ball completely with his hands away from his body, made the snag, and Henley's knocking on the door again, right down at the 1-yard line.
The Janney brothers have already linked up a few times tonight. It's been great news for Henley. Trips right in a bunch formation, one to the left, Whitlock on the left hip of Janney. Whitlock gets the handoff, and he is in for the touchdown.
Logan Whitlock knows how to find that end zone. He does it yet again for the Hornets' second touchdown of the evening.
9:55 to go in the second quarter. Henley up 13-0 on Mazama in this top 2 matchup. Jaime Pisano on for the PAT. It is almost blocked, but Pisano was able to kick it over the blocker.
Good lift on that.
14-0 Henley. 9:55 to go in the second quarter. We'll be right back. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends. Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
Welcome back. Henley up 14-0 over Mazama after a 1-yard touchdown run from Logan Whitlock following the Hornets' second forced fumble of the night.
Yeah, Henley doing a really good job tonight, playing a clean game. Not a lot of mistakes, not a lot of penalties, a couple takeaways. Mazama's had a little trouble fumbling the football a couple times, and then they've had a few penalties as well, making some difficult circumstances on their first few drives tonight.
So Mazama trailing by 2 touchdowns with 9:55 to go in the first half, comes out on their own 20. Handoff goes nowhere. Or no, that was a loss.
Yeah.
It wasn't a handoff up the middle. It was Van Gastel running it to the outside. The Mazama offense completely fooled me on that one.
Yeah, the only person not fooled was Jason Kern. He was right there to tackle Van Gastel for a loss. Another nice play by the fluorescent gloved Jason Kern.
Hey, we don't mind that at all.
No, it's easy to tell who he is out there.
2nd and 12 for Mazama from their own 18. This time it is a handoff, and one tackle is broken, but not a second. Well, Whitlock came away with the ball, but the officials will say the runner was down.
Yeah. Yeah, Henley's doing a nice job. They've been instructed to go for that football if they can. Mazama has good, hard running backs, but Henley's done a nice job of swarming and getting more than one defender in there to make the tackle. You probably can't tackle a lot of these guys with just one person. You're going to need 2 or 3, and Henley's done that so far.
Mazama 3rd and 4 from their own 26. 8:36 to go. The pitch. And that's going to be a first down and more. Mazama up to the 45. And that run was the biggest gain of the night for the Vikings, and it's got the crowd back into it.
Yeah, that time Henley didn't stretch it out. They didn't maintain their lanes on the outside, and they got around, and they found a lot of room on this near sideline. Ronan Wright finally drove him out of bounds, but not before a big gain from Mazama.
Seth McLean on the carry there. Mazama moves the ball up to their own 46. Just outside 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. Henley up 14-0. Van Gastel tries to run behind blockers, but that play is snuffed out quickly.
I'm impressed with Henley's ability so far on defense to know which way the ball's going and to just get all of their players moved in that direction. They're really having a tough time breaking tackles or breaking free for the most part. Mazama running back so far. So Henley doing the job defensively, and they'll be 2nd and long right here.
7:20 to go in the half as Van Gastel jogs out to get the play from the sideline. 2nd and 9, Mazama on their own 47. It's a quick snap. And Henley coaches in the box next to us think that should have been a false start.
Yeah, there were a few people here that thought that might have been, but that was just kind of, sometimes they'll run that wedge play and they'll just snap it quickly and just try to get as many yards up the middle as they can with a good push from that line. And they got a few there.
Ball spotted right on the 50.
Yeah, it brings up 3rd down.
3rd and 6. Can Henley come up with another big stop? Van Gastel, keeper, and he gains 1.
Cohen Redmond first on the scene. And that was just a short gain, just about a yard. And we've seen Mazama go for it so far on 4th down. We'll see if they do it again.
They are 1 for 1 on 4th down tonight. And by the looks of things, they're going to try to make it 2 for 2. Van Gastel with Vic Lease on the sideline, getting the play. Inside 6 minutes to go in the half. Henley up 14-0. Mazama going for it on 4th down at midfield. Handoff. And where are they going to spot this one?
It's really close, but it looks like he has it. They may even have to measure. We'll see where they spot the football.
Referee signal for first down, so that's the second 4th down conversion for Mazama, and it gets them into Henley territory on the Hornets 44.
Yeah, credit Mazama for being aggressive, and they're taking their time. They're calling their best play on that 4th down and the one previous, and they were both successful. So Mazama willing to take all 4 downs to pick up these first downs.
They come to the line. Van Gastel, another keeper, and he's dragged down. That'll be no gain.
That was Luke Chase coming from the far side, pursuing Van Gastel, catching up with him, and keeping him to no gain. A good defensive play.
Now we have a stoppage. The officials are huddling up. 4:58 to go in the half.
They're picking up the flag. So they'll be.
I honestly didn't see the flag get thrown in the first place, so no problem there.
So there was no gain. That'll bring up second down.
Second and 10.
Mazama really intentionally trying to slow this game down. They're taking their time. And that's how they want to play this. Shorten the game.
Van Gastel, another keeper, breaks a tackle, fighting forward, and that's going to be a gain of 4. Down to the Henley 40.
He found his way through the defensive line there, and then good work by the secondary to come in and make sure he got no more additional yards. So here comes a third down conversion, 3rd down and 5, it looks like.
Yeah, they'll give him 5 yards on that one. So it's 3rd and 5, Mazama at the Henley 39. Inside 4 minutes to go in the half. Hornets with a 14-0 lead in this matchup between the top 2 teams in 4A. They'll hand it off. Plunging through the mass of bodies and coming up short, barely, was McLean.
Ronan Wright again at the bottom of the pile. That looks just short, doesn't it? Just a little. So that's going to be fourth
and inches.
Yeah, it is. Another 4th down.
Yeah, it should be a no-brainer here to go for this one.
Mazama comfortable playing it out this way. They've yet to throw a pass, I believe. They're just running the football.
The pitch and the first down. So 3 for 3 now on 4th downs is Mazama tonight.
Yeah, they didn't get much on that. Kyle Nichols came up in a hurry and made another good tackle, but it was enough. Just enough for the first down.
2:59 to go in the half. Vikings with a first down on the Henley 35. Run up the middle. Gains a good bit. It's going to be about 7.
Yeah, one of their most successful plays tonight has just been the old-fashioned quarterback sneak. He just takes a snap and decides to go left or right over his center and kind of finds his way forward. That's a pretty good gain, about 6.
Mazama right at about the Henley 28. 2nd and 3. Under 2.5 minutes remaining in the half. Handoff up the middle. Looks like they've got the first down, but not much more. Or maybe they'll say he's a bit short.
Yeah. Just a little bit, just like the last series of downs.
Yeah, 3rd and inches. Ball spotted at the Henley 25. Under 2 minutes to go. Hornets trying to hold on to a 14-0 lead. Surge forward, and they've got the first down.
There's that quarterback sneak again. I think this drive started Wednesday. It feels like it's been going for hours.
Yeah, so my clock has 7:41 p.m., and we've got a minute 35 remaining in the first half.
Yeah. There's nothing tricky here, but it's effective. They're just working their way down the field. taking a lot of time off the clock.
1st and 10, Mazama on the Henley 22. Handoff up the middle. Powering forward, down inside the 15.
Yeah, that was a good, strong run. Contact was made early on, but he drugged some defenders with him. Picked up about 9.
Inside a minute to go. 2nd and 1 for Mazama on the Henley 14. Vikings trying to get on the board. Well, they pick up the 1st down. Got it right at about the 10.
They needed 1. They got about 3, I think. So, yes, it'll be right at the 10. We'll see where they spot this.
And now we've got a timeout. It's an official timeout, it looks like. So, teams started to head to their benches. Refs told them to come back out.
I think they're trying to decide whether or not it was a 1st down. They're just outside the 10, so I think what they're trying to figure out is they can still get a 1st down without scoring a touchdown. The ball's just outside the 10, so it's 1st and 10.
40 seconds left. Handoff. Gets nothing.
It's another nice tackle from that Henley defense. And now time does become a factor for Mazama.
Well, Vic Lease just called timeout.
Yeah, because we're at 27 seconds.
We'll just keep it here, as this is a big play coming up.
Yeah, they burned a lot of clock on that drive, and the Vikings are going to want to come away with some points here before the half, obviously. So to do that, when you run the ball like that, the clock will not stop. So they'll use a couple timeouts to see if they can punch it in. Henley defense has been on the field for a long time, and that might be part of the strategy for Mazama. Just wear down that defense. You might not get results in the 1st half, but as the game goes on, in that 4th quarter, maybe you hope defenders get a little tired. There's been a lot of contact, a lot of plays up the middle in this 1st half, so we'll see how the strategy plays out. Henley, though, keeps a 14-point lead so far.
27 seconds remaining. Mazama with a 2nd and 10 on the Henley 11. Van Gastel tried to pitch, but was wrestled down. Actually, he did get the pitch off, but the runner got nowhere.
That was Jason Kern again, and he's having to mark that pitch man, and he's done a brilliant job. That time for a loss, another tackle for loss.
Only 7 seconds left. Mazama has to hurry. Vic Lease not using his last time out. Van Gastel back to throw. Van Gastel caught. Touchdown. Oh, that is a tough one to give up for Henley. Mazama was scrambling, and Van Gastel just threw a dime. Wide open in the back of the end zone. Didn't quite see who caught that.
That was a gutsy move by the Vikings, but instead of call timeout, they threw their 1st pass. Nobody was expecting that. They put the ball right where they needed to, and they scored it in the half.
Zeros on the clock. The PAT is up and good. So that is a shot of energy for Mazama heading into the half. The Vikings still trail 14-7. We'll take a break. Halftime report on the other side. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Corporate. At Cole Subaru, we built our business on that simple promise. Well, that and some of the best people you're ever going to meet. Hi, I'm Rob Cedar, General Manager at Clown Falls Subaru. Our 62 employees make it easy for us to live up to our comfortable, not corporate philosophy. Friendly faces, easy answers, straight talk, fairness, and exceptional service. These are the things you expect. These are the things that all of our people deliver. Our management team, sales pros, certified service and body shop techs, lot attendants, and detail experts are all 100% focused on you, local people putting their friends and neighbors first. At Clown Falls Subaru, that's the only way we do business. It's comfortable, not corporate. Our team members also spend hundreds of hours each year supporting local charities and events through the Subaru Love Promise. That's the kind of people they are. We're very proud of them. They're your friends, they're your neighbors, they're glad to know you, and they want you to be glad to know them too. I'm Rob, and this is what makes us comfortable, not corporate.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Welcome back. It is a 14-7 lead for Henley here at halftime over Mazama in this matchup of the top two teams in 4A. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. Kevin, I mean, if you're Henley, you like the fact that you've gone into the locker room with the lead, but you don't like what happened at the very end. Mazama threw their first pass of the game. They were kind of scrambling out there with 7 seconds to go. Tyson Van Gastel drops back and just drops one in the bucket of a wide open receiver in the back of the end zone. That's a tough one to give up if you're Henley. Hornets do get the ball coming out of the half, so a chance for them to get it back to a 2-score game.
Yeah, that's one of the things about playing against, and we've seen it a lot from Mazama. That's one of the things about playing a team like that. They will lull you to sleep almost. Run. I mean, run after the other the whole first half. And then when they need it, we're not expecting it, they will throw that pass. And that time it was successful. Henley wasn't quite ready for it. They had to hurry the play. And really, really good play call there by Coach Lease. On the Henley side, Henley doing a really good job of getting the takeaways. Takeaway, short field, they score in a hurry, and then Mazama's trying to slow the game down. They don't want to get in a shootout. They want to run that clock, and I admire they're willing to stick to their game plan. They had a lot of fourth downs. They went for it. They didn't really change what they were doing, even though they're behind by a couple touchdowns. So I like what I'm seeing here. Some real good strategy, kind of some chess moves going on here, and we'll see how it all plays out in the second half. Henley's offense, I think, though, they still have what it takes. They're executing very well. When they do get the ball, they're able to move it. The problem is they're not getting the ball a whole lot.
You've been keeping some stats, Kevin. Why don't we run through those real quick?
Luke Bennett picked up a fumble. 5:16 to go in the first quarter. He recovered a fumble that gave Henley good field position, and that ended up with a 17-yard touchdown run from Joe Gianni to make the score 7-0. Hornets first on the board with 2:07 left in the first quarter. A little later in the ball game, another fumble recovered by Chris Gianni this time with 10:26 to play in the second quarter, and then Logan Whitlock punched it in from 1 yard out. Henley leads 14-0 with 9:55 left in the second quarter, and then the half ends on that one play. Mazama scores on a 14-yard touchdown pass, and that's where we are right now, 14-7. Henley leads here at halftime.
One thing that you've noticed, Henley has been doing a great job of limiting Mazama's big plays. Now that's that throughout the season, if you've been watching Mazama, you know they score a lot of touchdowns on 50, 60, 70-yard runs that they just pop off. And Henley's done a great job plugging the lanes. They've been tackling really well, preventing. I think Mazama's only had maybe 1 or 2 runs of more than 10 yards.
Right. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, Henley's really playing the run well, and Mazama's doing just enough to keep the chains moving. Like we've said, it's taken them 4 downs a number of times. But, yeah, Henley hasn't given up a big play, and their defense, again, playing very well. To only give up 7 to that team and a half, that's quite an accomplishment for sure.
It certainly is. It certainly is. All right, we're going to take another break, rest of halftime and the second half on the other side. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
During the Les Schwab Founders Celebration Sale, save up to $150 instantly on select sets of 4 tires. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends. Yeah! Be great.
Participate! So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been away forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place and then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
During COVID, I gained over 24 pounds. I lost motivation in working out. I lost motivation in eating healthy. And for me, if I'm not active, I just don't eat well. But then I started taking a class at Harbor's gym called High Low. The first week I felt like I didn't fit in and I couldn't do it. But the instructor was so kind and thanked me for coming and told me how well I did. I was like, no, I wasn't, but it made me come back the next week and the next week. And soon enough, I was keeping up with the class. I started introducing more classes and then going Saturdays. I learned how to lift weights accurately with repetition. I started lifting on my own. I started golfing too with my husband. And all of a sudden, I was buying salads instead of sandwiches. Small victories happened week by week, and it's 100% because of Harbor, their staff, their gym, the golf. My husband is getting out of the house and working out with me. His golf game is increasing, we're lifting together, and we feel good. Harbor, where I lost my reins and got my gains.
Welcome back. We got about 5 minutes left in halftime. Henley with a 14-7 lead over Mazama. Talk about the circumstances of this game. I mean, it really doesn't get much bigger than this.
I'm a needy person, Matt, and I can't think of one thing to ask for. This game, it's got everything. It's standing room only, big stakes, rivals, number 1 against number 2. I mean, it's lived up to the hype. We got some chess game action going on. It's been everything we expected.
Yeah, I mean, the circumstances. I mean, the stage was set from the very start. This is number 1 Henley, number 2 Mazama, and this wasn't actually the 1 versus 2 matchup until last night.
That's true.
Scappoose somehow rose up to number 1 in the OSA computer rankings after last week, even though Mazama rolled Klamath Union, and Henley, who was number 1, beat Marshfield 63-18, which leads you to ask some questions about the computer rankings.
Yeah.
But regardless, it did end up sorting itself out because Scappoose lost last night to Tillamook, so Henley back at number 1, Mazama in at number 2, and
those rankings, that math is way above my pay grade. I have no idea how those things work out, but pretty much guaranteed tonight's winner will be number 1 in the state after tonight's game, and then who knows after that where the teams will fall. But definitely good season for both clubs, and a lot of football left, and they're definitely headed toward the playoffs.
Yeah, well, only one game of football left in the regular season after tonight. Henley traveling to North Bend, and Mazama. I know they play Marshfield. I believe they travel to Marshfield. I don't have that right in front of me. Let me see if I can pull that up.
It's like Mazama's at Marshfield.
Yeah, Mazama at Marshfield.
Yeah.
So nice road trips for both teams. So Mazama has to win tonight in order to keep their 9-year league championship streak alive. If they don't win, they cannot win the league championship. If they do win, they clinch the league championship. Henley, on the other hand, even if they do win, they will not clinch the league championship. They have to win next week at North Bend. To do that, North Bend also tied for. Well, North Bend has just 1 loss in league play, so that creates kind of a tiebreaker, head-to-head tiebreaker situation potentially.
Right.
Although you look at North Bend, and you don't imagine that will be too much of a challenge for Henley. I mean,
Henley should do well in North Bend, you would think. So Henley needs to win out to win the league, and if Mazama wins tonight, they will win the league because they've already defeated North Bend. So that's kind of how that works out.
Bulldogs beat Crater 30-28. They beat Marshfield 21-12, and they beat Hidden Valley 28-26. Well, those are all teams that Henley put the running clock on.
Right. So Henley, we'll see how they come out. Their offense, like we said, they didn't get many opportunities. I think they may have only had 3 or 4 possessions in the first half. So once the offense gets the football, they seem to do pretty well. But Mazama's going to try to keep it away as long as they can. Mazama did much better after they took care of the ball. They had a couple early turnovers that led to scores for Henley. Once they took care of the football, they pretty much dominated the rest of the half. So I'm sure that's what Coach Lease is telling them in there. Take care of the ball.
Yeah, the Mazama student section, I tell you, they do. This reminds me a bit of Baylor, what they're doing. They all come out onto the field at the end of halftime to form the tunnel for Mazama to run out, and then they all sprint back up into the stands. If you've ever actually been to a Baylor football game and seen the student section, they do it at the beginning of the game where they come down a ramp into the stadium and sprint across the field into the student section. It's quite a sight.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some rowdy fans here tonight, and we have a lot of them. Pretty much standing room around the field. So, and there are no seats. All the seats are taken. So a good crowd.
Yep, people lining the fences around the field on the Henley side. Everybody just trying to get a good vantage point. This is a fantastic game. So as we mentioned at the end of the half, Henley is going to get the ball to start the third quarter. And it might be a little telling, the first drive, to see what happens here.
Absolutely. I was gonna mention that as well. This first drive, the start of the second half, is going to be key. I agree. If Mazama can get a stop and come down and score, we've got a whole different situation. If Henley can continue to move the football and add 7, then that'll definitely make the third and fourth quarter easier for them. So yeah, that first drive is going to be very telling.
The question I have really is, did that touchdown to end the half for Mazama swing the momentum back in their favor, or did it kind of light a fire under Henley a little bit?
Right. Good point. It will definitely make you more aware of that sneaky situation where they'll be ready for the pass next time, you would think. So yeah, good point.
All right, we've got about under a minute and a half left on the halftime clock here. Real quick, Kevin, I think you said you had a Lost River score.
Yeah, let me see what I have there. Lost River's at Bonanza. You know what? I think that game's actually at Lost River. They're down in Merrill, Malin area tonight.
Yes. Yep.
Game's at Lost River. And start of the second quarter, Lost River leads Bonanza 24-0.
Big rivalry game there. They're playing that as part of the, I think, Klamath Basin Potato Festival in Merrill this weekend. They'll also have some Pop Warner games scheduled for tomorrow. Kind of neat when these festivals incorporate the local high school football games.
Definitely. Lost River #1 in the state, coming into this weekend as well. So,
yeah,
some good football here in the Basin.
Absolutely. Raiders have to be the clear favorites to repeat as state champions in the 1A 8-player classification. So here we go for the second half. Jonathan Lightnin getting set to kick off for Mazama. Onside. And he's got it. Down to the 30. Uh-oh. That is a momentum swinger.
Well, that's one way to make sure Henley doesn't get the ball on offense. Run a little onside kick, open the half. Mazama executes. Looks like Juan Rodriguez came up with the football for the Vikings. And the Vikings have the ball 1st and 10 in Henley territory.
Three seconds gone in the second half. Referees are still conferring.
I'm going to come over and talk to the Mazama sideline, actually both sidelines now. Let's see what they say. Looks like Mazama will keep possession. Sometimes you wonder if the ball was touched before 10 yards, all of those things. You want to make sure to get it right, but Mazama will maintain possession.
Mazama on the Henley 43. You have to think the Henley defense pretty much has to get the stop here.
Yeah, they've been on the field the majority of this game. We'll see how they handle this here in the second half. It's a lengthy discussion on the far sideline. Actually, officials are talking to both sidelines. I'm not sure what we're debating here. But it's held up play for a minute.
Yeah. Looks like now we're ready to get started. Handoff. Doesn't get too far. Driven back after a gain of about 3.
That was Ronan Wright. A good driving tackle. After a short gain.
Second and 7, Mazama on the Henley 39, trying to tie this game early in the third quarter. Van Gastel pitches. Fumble! Henley's got it! That might be a scoop and score! There he goes! Chris Janney! Are you kidding me? I don't believe what I just saw.
Another takeaway, that time run back all the way for a touchdown. Kyle Nichols put the hammer on the ball carrier. The ball popped loose. Chris Janney picks it up and scores. On a 60-yard, it's about a 60-yard touchdown.
Just when you thought Henley might be in trouble, the defense comes up again. Wow.
We've seen some action here early in this third quarter. An onside kick goes Mazama's way, and Henley comes right back, gets a turnover, scores a touchdown.
It looks like the referee is signaling a penalty against Henley. Touchdown stands.
Yeah, it was after the touchdown. They'll probably assess it on the kick.
Jaime Pisano on for the PAT. As this Mazama sideline, which was rocking just minutes ago, has now fallen silent. Kick is good. So Henley up 21-7, 56 seconds into the third quarter. We'll take a break. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
Welcome back. A 48-yard fumble return by Chris Janney after Mazama recovered an onside kick to start the second half has put Henley up 21-7. Jaime Pisano getting ready to kick it back. And that's going to be another touchback.
That Henley defense, I mean, we've been talking about it all year, and sometimes against some of the weaker teams, you don't really know what you've got. But that defense, they are legit. They're playing a really good Mazama team tonight, and they have turned the tide in this game, giving Henley a 21-7 lead here early in the third quarter.
So Mazama starting from their own 20, 11:04 remaining in the third quarter. Vikings find themselves down 14 once again. Do they have an answer? Handoff. Decent run there by, looks like Baldwin. He'll pick up about 5 or 6.
That was a good first down carry. Looked like Luke Bennett over there on the tackle for the Hornets. We'll see if Mazama stays with this pace and this style. At some point, they may have to change their game plan the deeper we get into this game. But right now, they're sticking with it, taking their time, running the football.
2nd and 4 from Mazama from their own 26. 10:20 on the clock in the third quarter. Up the middle.
And that's going to be just short.
3rd and 1.
We've seen this a few times tonight. The answer so far has kind of been quarterback sneak. We'll see if they do that again.
It's effective no matter how you play it. It's especially effective for Mazama with the formation that they use.
Yeah, if you just need 1 or 2, that play seems to work for them.
It does get the first down. A couple more. Up to the 32-yard line.
Van Gastel's an accomplished runner. He knows how many yards he needs to get for the first down, and he's able to get there. And then he'll walk over to the sideline, talk to his head coach. And they'll talk for a minute. He'll get the play, and then he'll march out and give it to his team, using pretty much all that play clock.
First down, Mazama from their own 33. 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. Henley leads 21-7. Another run up the middle. Doesn't get too far.
A lot of Hornets in on that tackle. You know, one advantage to calling plays like this, when your quarterback just jogs over and talks to the coach, you can't steal signals. You really can't get any idea what they're going to run. You know, that's one thing. Because some teams will call in signals, and after you play 2 or 3 quarters, you kind of maybe recognize a couple of calls. But this way, no worry about that.
Some of the teams competing against Michigan might want to look into that. Van Gastel back to throw. Van Gastel sacked. Back at the 30.
Cody Harper. Big sack, and he had time to throw. Van Gastel was rolling to his right. He had time, but the defensive backfield for Henley, all over those receivers. He had nowhere to go with it. Had to take a big loss, big sack. And it's 3rd and long.
3rd and 12. Mazama from their own 31.
Henley that time ready for the pass. That was well defended.
7.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Henley sideline is jumping. Van Gastel looking to throw again. Van Gastel broken up.
That was textbook coverage over there. I think that was Kyle Nichols. He was following the receiver. And once the ball was thrown, he made a break on the football, jumped right in front. Made some interference for the receiver, and the ball dropped to the turf. Good piece of defense. 4th and long now for Mazama.
So now the Vikings will punt. I think this is their 2nd punt of the night from just inside their own 20. It's a high snap, and they're able to get the kickoff. And Luke Bennett's not going to touch that one as it's downed at the Henley 31. Another potentially disastrous play for Mazama.
Yeah, Christopher Baldwin back punting for Mazama. That was an important play, because if that ball had gotten over his head, or if he wasn't able to punt it, that would have been really good field position for Henley. But he got the kickoff, and he got a pretty good roll, and he made a nice play. It was a big play for the Vikings.
Henley comes out with a 21-7 lead, 7:11 to go in the third quarter. Trips right, 1 to the left, Whitlock behind Janney. From the 32, Whitlock the carry. Whitlock has a big hole. Whitlock into the secondary. Whitlock still going to midfield. Whitlock 40-35, brought down. A big run by Logan Whitlock. And Henley is cooking again.
By far the longest run we've seen tonight from Logan. Able to finally accelerate, get outside, pick up some big yards.
6:45 to go in the third quarter. Got a stoppage. Official timeout. It looks like there may be a problem with Whitlock's helmet. Referee checking him out, decides he's good to go. So we play on. Trips right, one to the left. Whitlock on the left hip of Janney. 1st and 10, Henley on the Mazama 35. Whitlock gets the carry. Whitlock with room. Inside the 30. Whitlock! Whitlock inside the 10. Whitlock! Out at the 1. He tried to truck a defender to get into the end zone and came up just short. I mean, he did lay the shoulder pretty nicely, but Henley down to the 1 again.
He knocked the pylon over. I thought he was in there, but they're going to mark him just short. Another great run. Looked a lot like the last one. Started to his left and then broke outside with plenty of room. Another huge gain.
1st and goal from the 1. Trips right, one to the left, or nobody to the left, excuse me. Whitlock on the left hip of Janney. Whitlock spins, dives forward. He might be short, but just barely.
He's just barely short. Just outside the goal line on that run.
2nd and inches for Henley. I mean, that ball is on the half-yard line. 5.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Henley can take a 3-touchdown lead here. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. Whitlock gets the carry again, and no doubt about it, in for the touchdown, Logan Whitlock. Mazama is stunned.
You know, they did a good job containing Logan that first half. No one else has been able to do it all year. And some good adjustments by that Henley coaching staff, and they freed up Whitlock on that drive. He had two huge runs, and he scores the touchdown.
The PAT is up and good for Jaime Pisano. So it's a 28-7 lead for Henley with 5:19 to go in the third quarter. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Fall on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com. We'll be right back.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Welcome back. Henley with a 28-7 lead after another 1-yard touchdown run from Logan Whitlock. Kickoff is through the end zone for a touchback. Jaime Pisano is, I think, 5 for 5 on touchbacks tonight.
Yeah. And that's a weapon. That's just what the coaches are asking him to do. You don't want any surprise run backs, anything tricky. Just get that ball in the end zone, and he's done that every time. Henley offense that time, the Henley defense, we've been talking about them a little bit in this game. Offense says, hey, we can execute as well, and they came through with a nice drive to get a 3-touchdown lead here.
So Mazama down 21 points, 5:19 to go in the third quarter. Starts from their own 20. First carry picks up 3 yards.
Another good strong tackle from Ronan Wright. Ronan's had a nice game, making a lot of interior tackles. A lot of traffic in there. He's finding his way to the runner. Well done. Brings up a second down.
Mazama from their own 24-yard line, 2nd and 7, or 23, excuse me. 4:36 to go in the third quarter. Handoff. Flag. I think that's going to be on Mazama.
It looked like they might have jumped, didn't it, on the far side over there? Yeah. That's the call.
False start, so that'll make it 2nd and 12.
Mazama with a few more penalties tonight than the Hornets. And that's made their drives a little more difficult. And they're looking at a 2nd and long here. Clock continues to just wind down. Mazama just taking their time.
4:15 to go in the third quarter. 2nd and 12, Mazama from their own 18-yard line. Run. Stuffed.
That was a good hit.
Bodie Norlock on the carry.
That was Bennett. Luke Bennett came out of nowhere and just ended that play in a hurry. Great tackle, and it's 3rd down and a long 9.
Third and 9, Mazama from their own 21-yard line. Vikings still taking their time. No sense of urgency as they trail by 21 with 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Van Gastel under center, back to throw. Van Gastel lets it fly, and it's caught. Forced out at the 50. That looks like Diego Hutchinson on the reception, and a flag in the backfield. I thought I saw a Henley player being held. We'll see if that's what this is.
That was a good route by the Mazama player.
It is a hold against Mazama, so that wipes out the completion.
It's going to come back, yes.
I mean, I don't think there was much question about that. You could even see it fairly clearly from here. I think that might have been Luke Bennett on the receiving end of that one. I think it looked like they kind of brought him in on a defensive back blitz.
On a stunt over there, yeah.
So that sends Mazama back to their own 10, 11 rather, 3rd and 19. 3:12 to go in the third quarter. Mazama trails 28-7 here on their senior night.
Those last few pass plays, Henley's applied good pressure to the quarterback, and they've had good results.
Van Gastel under center. Van Gastel to throw. Rolling right. Pressure coming. Van Gastel tiptoeing along the sideline, but he's forced out at the 23-yard line. 7 yards short of the first down. We'll see what the Vikings do here.
Yeah, Van Gastel did a good job just to get positive yardage. Logan Whitlock was chasing him in the backfield. He was able to get around him, pick up a handful of yards, but still well short of the first down.
They're going to punt from their own 10. Luke Bennett posted up at his own 40. Kick is pretty short. That's out of bounds at the Mazama 48.
Yeah, that punt went off the side of his foot, and it just kind of wobbled out at about, in Mazama territory. So Henley, again, will get good field position after the punt.
They're going to spot the ball at the Mazama 43.
Henley offense now. The chance to really get this game in their favor. They lead 28-7, and they have a 1st and 10.
Trips right, one to the left. Whitlock behind Janney. Whitlock gets the carry. Whitlock throws. Oh, wide open. Oh, my. Oh, my. Touchdown, Henley. The trick play. Logan Whitlock throws it downfield.
The old halfback pass. Whitlock threw a strike. I think it was Montag on the catch. Did you catch who caught that deep?
It was difficult to see, but he was wide open. Mazama didn't have a clue that was coming. Well, neither did we. PAT is good for Jaime Pisano. Henley 35, Mazama 7. Words I didn't think I'd ever say. We'll be right back.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends. Yeah! Be great.
Participate.
Welcome back. We're not quite back on the radio yet. Welcome back. I cannot believe what is occurring here at Viking Field. Logan Whitlock on the halfback pass throws a wide open touchdown to who we think was Bryson Montag. It was difficult to read the number from here. And Henley, with 2:54 remaining in the third quarter, leads Mazama 35-7.
Well, at the end of the first half, Mazama kind of pulled a little tricky play there. Didn't call a timeout, threw a pass for their score. This time Henley gets a little tricky. They pitch it to Logan Whitlock. He throws, and it was a good play call because his receiver was wide open. And sometimes that's a hard throw. You see someone that open, but he did a good job. Did a good job, just put enough air under there. Made for an easy catch and an easy touchdown for the Hornets.
It was an infraction on the kickoff, so Pisano boots it from the 35, and he still gets a touchback. I'll tell you what, when you can kick it like that consistently, there's more often than not a place for you on a college team.
Sure.
So I'm not sure what Jaime Pisano's post-high school aspirations are, but I don't think it's too late for him to be shopping some of this film around.
He's been very consistent. And before the game, I was watching him kick field goals, and he was knocking those through as well from pretty deep, around 40 yards. So he's having a good night.
So Mazama facing a 35-7 deficit with 2:54 to go in the third quarter. Start on their own 20. Handoff up the middle. Brought down quickly.
I think that was Ronan White again among the tacklers. Ronan coming in from that linebacker spot. It'll be second down from Mazama.
Second and 7, Mazama from their own 23. And And that is going to be a false start on the Vikings.
Mazama kind of making it difficult for themselves. They've had a few penalties here now in the second half.
I'm still having a hard time processing what I'm seeing here, Kevin. I mean, here we thought, number 1 versus number 2. We thought that Henley would finally be truly tested, that they would have to play a 4-quarter game. And it certainly looked that way through the first half. But they have come out in this third quarter and outscored the Vikings 21-0. Second and 12, Mazama from their own 18, and they might false start again.
Another penalty flag.
This is just unreal.
Well, Coach Stork, he emphasized playing a complete game, and that's what he got from his kids tonight, offensively and defensively so far. And that's why we see this score the way it is, 35-7, because that offense has played just as well as that defense tonight. And they're making it tough for the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, but we know what Henley can do. We've seen what Henley can do all season. For Mazama to come out and look so far behind the Hornets in most facets of the game is just stunning. Van Gastel back to pass, barely escapes the sack, and overthrows his receiver.
That was just a short little pass to the far side, and it was well covered. Even if the catch was made, I don't think it would have gone for more than a couple of yards. So, well defended by the Hornets. It'll be 3rd and long.
Third and 17 for Mazama from their own 13-yard line. 1:26 remaining in the third quarter. Vikings trail 35-7. Van Gastel back to throw. Under pressure. Lets it go. Almost intercepted. Luke Bennett, I think it bounced off his hands, although I think Ryan Hayden, the Mazama receiver, may have got his arm in there to kind of break that up.
There was good pressure on the quarterback. I think that was Cody Harper again back there. He made Van Gastel throw the ball before he wanted to. And Mazama looks to be in punt formation again.
A punt from their own goal line. Luke Bennett just inside midfield. The punt is toward the sideline, and it bounces out at the Mazama 48. So that's where Henley will take over with 1:13 to go in the third quarter, leading 35-7.
I think the key to this game, if there was one, is the turnovers. Henley has yet to turn the ball over. Mazama's had 3. When you slow the game down like Mazama does, and you limit how many possessions, when you only get 4 or 5 or 6 possessions, and you get 3 of those taken away, that makes a big difference, and that's where Henley's won this game. Takeaways and then scoring the short field.
That's right.
Yeah. And they've got a short field again.
The scoop and score by Chris Janney was, I think, looking back now, you have to say that was the turning point in this game.
Sure.
Now an empty backfield for Joe Janney as Whitlock comes in motion and a flag.
That flag was thrown just before the snap.
And it's on Mazama. Vikings jumped off sides. And again, I mean, they had trouble with those kinds of penalties against Klamath Union.
Yeah, Henley's done well to not be penalized all that much tonight. They played a pretty clean game, and that's helped them out to this lead.
1st and 5, Henley on the Mazama 43. Two receivers on either side. Whitlock gets the carry up the middle. Fights forward for a gain of 2.
Good piece of defense by Mazama. Just a short gain. Logan just picked up a couple there. That last offensive series, he had 2 huge runs for Henley, leading to his touchdown run early in the second half.
Same formation. 2nd and 3 on the Mazama 41. Janney back to throw. Janney looking right side, open. Oh, swim move. Mark Carpenter down inside the 20. Mark Carpenter tripped up at the 5. What a great catch and run by Mark Carpenter.
That was, and he ran a great route as well. Sensed where his defender was, made the break to the sideline, and then once he caught the football, he made sure he had possession, then he put a good move on his defender, picked up a bunch of yards, and Henley again is in reach of scoring another touchdown.
I know we usually see Mark Carpenter on the other side of the ball making plays as a defensive back. He's got 6 interceptions this season. There's only 2 players in the state of Oregon that have more than that. Somebody's called a timeout. We're not sure who.
Yeah, there's only 11. Oh, okay, the clock, actually at the end of the quarter is what's going on.
Oh, okay.
There we
go. All right, there we go. End of the third quarter. Henley 35, Mazama 7. We'll be right back. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Welcome back as we get ready to start the fourth quarter here. Henley with a 1st and goal on the Mazama 5, leading 35-7. Two receivers on either side. Whitlock on the left hip of Janney. Designed run. Janney walks it into the corner. Touchdown, Henley.
Good play call. We know Joe has the speed, and he just aimed right for that cone, the front corner of the end zone, and he gets the touchdown easily.
Jaime Pisano. And the Henley coaches next to us are observing that some Mazama fans are leaving. And, well, why wouldn't they? Henley has just put the running clock on Mazama. Kevin, did you ever think you would hear those words?
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised. I knew Henley had explosive scoring, but, yeah, I didn't know we'd be seeing a 42-7 score here going into the fourth. We got a full quarter left to play. Henley just playing very, very well tonight. Things got a little bit shaky, a little bit close, but Henley kept their composure at halftime. I feel like they made good adjustments, obviously, at halftime. The onside kick was a little bit of a trick, but once they retained possession, they pretty much controlled this game in the second half. So some proud coaches over there for the Hornets.
Yeah. This is just incredible. Pisano. That one's a little short of the end zone. It's going to be returned. Only up to the 22. And maybe his leg's getting a little tired.
Yeah, he's had to kick a lot. Good coverage, though. That's a good start. Good place to start for the Henley defense on this first drive here in the fourth quarter. So the clock is running.
And it will run for the rest of this game, regardless of whether Mazama scores here.
Right.
So it seems all but certain at this point that Mazama's 9-year league title streak will come to an end here on their home field on senior night. First down run goes nowhere. You have to go back to 2013. That was Vic Leese's first year as head coach to find to get to the last time Mazama didn't win the league. And as I'm sure anyone who was alive at that point can attest to, the world was a much different place in 2013. Second and 8 from Mazama from their own 25. The pitch, and bumped out by Luke Bennett just shy of the 30 was Baldwin.
Luke Bennett got over there in a hurry. They're doing a good job. Henley's doing a good job of pursuit. They're really flying to the football, coming from clear across the field in some cases to make tackles and keep the gains short. And that'll bring up a third down here from Mazama.
Fans, it looks like, are still trickling out here from Mazama. I mean, I see a line of cars pulling out of the parking lot. This is, for a program with such a rich tradition and proud recent history as Mazama, a result like this is just devastating.
Thomas Bakke with a stop there for Henley, but it's enough for a first down. Yeah, I think Mazama's their program is strong enough, and they know they've got a lot of season left. They're still number 2 in the state. They play the number 1 team tonight. They're not going to drop far, and these two teams may just meet again. Would not surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. Yeah, I mean, this could absolutely be a playoff matchup. Maybe state championship, maybe state semifinals, depending on just how far Mazama drops.
Sure. Mazama's been through a lot of postseason football, so I'm sure they'll watch the film, see if they can make some adjustments and see how game number 2 goes. But Henley's just been a steamroller. They've been good all year.
Second and 4, Mazama from their own 46-yard line. Clock running inside 8.5 minutes. Looks like Henley gets the stop after a gain of about 2.
The running clock, just over 8 minutes to play. And I was just going to say, we're seeing the Henley starters still in the ball game, but now Coach Storkey is starting to remove some of his starters.
Yeah, we just saw Chris Janney come out for Lane Frank. A senior coming off for another senior. Frank, of course, one of the reserves.
I think Logan Whitlock also is leaving his linebacker spot. I think he's probably done for the night.
Carry outside, gets the first down.
Yeah, the Hornets are moving some personnel in and out.
So the last time, if this scoreline holds, it'll be the first time since the 2021 state semifinals against Marshfield that Mazama has lost a game by 35 or more and been held to 7 or fewer points. The Vikings lost to the Pirates 36-0 in that semifinal matchup as Marshfield rolled on their way to a state title. We got a timeout called. We'll take a break. Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Welcome back. Henley called a timeout. Not entirely sure why, as the clock is running. It's a 42-7 lead for the Hornets, who have put themselves in position to win the league championship and presumably claim the #1 seed in the 4A playoffs with a win at North Bend next week.
It's a really nice achievement for this team and this coaching staff. You know that's their goal every year. First thing you want to do is win your league. They're well on their way to that. Hard work paying off for these kids.
Inside 6.5 to go. Handoff on 2nd and 5, gets down to the 40.
Lane Frank on the tackle for Henley. After a pickup of about, well, they'll put the ball at the 40. It'll be 3rd down about 4 or 5.
I think you do have to give some credit here to the Mazama student section. That part of the bleachers is still pretty full, even as a lot of the non-student fans are continuing to trickle out.
The beat's going home.
And they're still getting loud for the Viking Nation chant. There's a nice run to pick up the 1st down. That's looks like Bodie Norlock again.
Wyatt Fussell for the Hornets making that tackle. And more Henley players shuffling in and out of that defense. Coach Stork making sure everybody gets a chance to play in this one.
Inside 5 minutes to go. Another handoff by the Vikings. Gets down to the Henley 30 or 28.
Luke Chase, Lane Frank, helping each other on that tackle.
.4:18 to go, clock running, 2nd and 5 for Mazama. Down to the 20 goes Bodie Norlock.
That was Lane Frank tripping him up again. He's got a bunch of tackles here.
You have to wonder now, Kevin, Henley will almost certainly get the #1 seed. How big of a favorite should they be for the state title?
Well, no one's been able to stop them yet. They've played some good clubs, Mazama among them. So yeah, they'd probably be your favorite right now.
There is of course the question of teams like Tillamook and even Scappoose are still pretty dangerous despite the loss they took last night. It can be hard. It can be hard playing an unfamiliar team. That's when they surprise you. We saw it happen to Henley last year against Estacada, and also Mazama last year against Scappoose.
Right. Anything can happen, of course. But Henley's really played well.
And this run will go for a touchdown. Looks like, hard to see who that was. It was Bodie Norlock, one of the Vikings seniors. Certainly not the senior night they envisioned. But they will likely get at least one more game on this field. PAT is up and good. So that makes it Henley 42, Mazama 14. As scoreboard says Henley 48 for some reason. Not sure why.
Yeah, I think they'll hopefully figure that out.
We'll take a quick Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
During the Les Schwab Founders Celebration Sale, save up to $150 instantly on select sets of 4 tires. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Welcome back. A touchdown run from Bodie Norlock gets Mazama their second score of the night and cuts the deficit to 42-14.
That's a pretty good kickoff. The ball just kind of spun in place, and the Henley player had to just fall on it just to maintain possession. So they'll start deep in their own territory to begin this drive. Just under 2 minutes left to play with a running clock. This will certainly be the last possession of the game.
Henley coming out from their own 13. 2 receivers on either side. And looks like Trapper Kundal is now in at quarterback.
Might have been Brunick on the carry there. I don't think Henley even needs to really run a play if they don't want to. They could just take the victory formation. This one's going to end.
Well, looks like they're still trying to get the backups of a few reps. Trips right, one to the left. Brunick the carry. And he is wrestled down at the 10. 45 seconds to go. You have to think that's probably going to be it.
They'll have to snap it. Let's see here. They'll probably have to snap it one more time. That should do it. What a win. What a win for Henley.
First time since 2017 Henley has beat Mazama. And they snap the Vikings' 9-year league championship streak in dominating fashion.
There was just enough time on the clock where the play clock was going to run out before the game clock, so they will take a little penalty here and then have to deal with one more snap with just 3 seconds left.
No. Well, the clock started to run, and they did run the clock.
Yep.
It's over. Henley, 42. Mazama, 14. It almost defies logic. And what was supposed to be a clash of the Titans, Henley dominates again.
Henley just had, it's one of those nights where they could pretty much do nothing wrong. They had a little blip at the end of the half, at the beginning of the third quarter. Other than, can't really think of a time when Henley didn't just do what they needed to do. They executed on all sides of the football, special teams, offense, defense. Played a mistake-free game for the most part, not a lot of penalties. Just played a good game. Those 3 takeaways, as we mentioned, also a big key. And they ran away with this one.
We'll take a break. Post-game report on the other side. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Welcome back. We didn't go to commercial until just a minute ago on the live stream because we wanted you to see the celebration with Henley, their student section, and really all of their fans. I mean, I think it's I know this is only my first year here, but I can only imagine what this means to the Henley community, Kevin. I mean, for a program that has spent so long playing second or third fiddle to Mazama and, perhaps one of the other teams in their league, to now be able to come out and make such a massive statement. By the way, Mazama's already turned the scoreboard off. You don't see that happen very often here, I don't think.
No, Henley. It's been a long time coming, but Henley has gotten better and better every year. They've been competitive, and Mazama's been dominant. And they still are. They're a great program. They know how to play playoff football, but Henley, they've put the work in. They've made some good coaching moves. They have good work in the off season, and then they've got a good, talented group that are a mature, experienced bunch, and they're just playing like it. They're playing like a football team that knows how to win. Not a whole lot shakes them up. They don't get too wound up, or they don't get too worried about situations. They just execute, play well, and it's really worked for them this year. They're the only undefeated team in 4A.
Yep. All right. We're going to try to get through this post-game show fairly quickly so I can go downstairs and do some interviews. We'll take another break. Kevin will give us a stats recap on the other side, so don't go away just yet. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Do you guys need the stats?
Oh, you have stats?
Sure.
Yeah.
So this is the second half. And then here, I'll show you.
You can take a picture, man.
During COVID, I gained over 24 pounds. I lost motivation in working out. I lost motivation in eating healthy. And for me, if I'm not active, I just don't eat well. But then I started taking a class at Harbor's gym called High Low. The first week I felt like I didn't fit in and I couldn't do it, but the instructor was so kind and thanked me for coming and told me how well I did. I was like, no, I wasn't, but it made me come back the next week and the next week. And soon enough, I was keeping up with the class. I started introducing more classes, and then going Saturdays, I learned how to lift weights accurately with repetition. I started lifting on my own. I started golfing too with my husband. And all of a sudden, I was buying salads instead of sandwiches. Small victories happened week by week, and it's 100% because of Harbor, their staff, their gym, the golf. My husband is getting out of the house and working out with me. His golf game is increasing, we're lifting together, and we feel good. Harbor, where I lost my reins and got my gains.
There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and little league teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
At Clownfield Subaru, we built our business on that simple promise. Well, that and some of the best people you're ever going to meet. Hi, I'm Rob Cedar, General Manager at Clownfield Subaru. Our 62 employees make it easy for us to live up to our comfortable, not corporate philosophy. Friendly faces, easy answers, straight talk, fairness, and exceptional service. These are the things you expect. These are the things that all of our people deliver. Our management team, sales pros, certified service and body shop techs, lot attendants, and detail experts are all 100% focused on you. Local people putting their friends and neighbors first. At Clownfield Subaru, that's the only way we do business. It's comfortable, not corporate. Our team members also spend hundreds of hours each year supporting local charities and events through the Subaru Love Promise. That's the kind of people they are. We're very proud of them. They're your friends, they're your neighbors, they're glad to know you, and they want you to be glad to know them too. I'm Rob, and this is what makes us comfortable, not corporate.
Welcome back. We have your scoring recap here. Kevin?
Yeah, Henley started off the scoring in his first quarter with a 17-yard touchdown run. Joe Janney found the front corner of the end zone on a nice run, and Henley led 7-0. And then later in the second quarter, Logan Whitlock with a 1-yard touchdown run, making the score 14-0. Then the last play of the half, Mazama threw a little 14-yard touchdown pass with no time left, and that brought the score 14-7. They were able to successfully get the onside kick in the third quarter, Mazama was. But Henley scored on a 48-yard touchdown fumble return for a touchdown. Chris Janney ran that back for the defensive score. Henley led 21-0. Logan Whitlock added a 1-yard touchdown run later in the third quarter with 5:19 left. Henley up 28-7. Then a little bit of trickery. Pitched the ball to Whitlock for a halfback pass to Montag. That touchdown with 2:57 left to go in the third.
I should say the stats that we've been given by Mazama have Chris Janney as the receiver.
Did Janney
on
catch
the
it?
Whitlock.
That could be. It was hard to see in that corner. So we'll give that to Chris Janney. He's had a heck of a night. So the halfback pass went to Janney. That made the score 35-7. And then Joe Janney with a 5-yard touchdown run, 42-7. Mazama gets a late touchdown against the second-string defense, and our final score 42-14. Henley with a win.
Logan Whitlock finished with 80 rushing yards on 13 carries, 2 touchdowns. Henley, as a whole, only put up 237 yards of offense. They were outgained narrowly by Mazama, who had 240.
Yeah, Mazama rushed the ball for a lot of yards, especially in that first half. They put together a lot of long drives. Henley defense was able to keep him out of the end zone for the most part, but Mazama did rush the football. Yeah,
they certainly did. 227 rushing yards. But yeah, I mean, just not sure what else there is to say that's kind of already been said. This was just a stunning result, and it really, I think that scoop and score fumble return by Janney was the turning point in this game, because Mazama, they had cut it to 14-7 heading into the half. They ran an onside kick to start the third quarter, recovered it, and they were driving. They looked like they were gonna go and score, but then the fumble happened. Janney ran it back, and all of a sudden it's 21-7 Henley.
Yeah, the game was still in question at that point, and Henley did. That was a huge play. Chris Janney had a crazy night. He had two fumble recoveries. So on the defensive side, he played very well. Offensively, scored a couple touchdowns as well. So really good. Joe at quarterback, I was really watching him tonight. This is a big game for a sophomore quarterback. I thought he played great. He played really well. Didn't have any trouble throwing the football when he needed to throw it. He threw it right on the money. No turnovers there. Also scored on a couple runs. Did a nice job running the football. And Logan Whitlock played a good complete game. Mazama was keen on him. He ended up with 80 yards tonight, but he played really good defense. He rushed, did some stunts, and was able to get back in the backfield, caused some problems for the quarterback. So really good performances tonight. The defense, I just continue to be impressed with that defense. Only giving up 7 to this first team Mazama offense. Quite a feat and quite a win for Henley tonight.
I'm going to go downstairs and see how many of those guys that I can round up for interviews. I'm sure they're going to have a lot to say. Be on the lookout for those videos uploaded later to our 960 Sports Facebook page. So that about does it for us here at Viking Field. For my partner Kevin Petrik and our cameraman Christian Shira, I am Matt Bowling saying good night and thanks for listening and watching. Henley 42, Mazama 14, your final. Hornets head to North Bend next week, looking to wrap up the league championship. You've been listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.